Last week, when you think about this, we witnessed something new to politics. White House Chief of Staff John Kelly, retired Marine Corps four-star general, stood in the briefing room and spoke about the son he lost in Afghanistan. He's a Gold Star father. He talked about his own military service. And it became, as we watched on live television, a kind of merging of service and civilian that we're really not used to seeing or hearing. With us tonight is our friend Paul Rieckhoff, a veteran of the Iraq War and the founder and CEO of IAVA, Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. Full disclosure, I'm a supporter and a contributor, and they are out with a new survey highlighting some of the challenges that face the growing number of post-9/11 military veterans from our current two wars. First of all, before we get to the numbers, which are in many ways shocking to read, the point I heard you making on television after General Kelly's appearance in the briefing room, you're concerned rightly about the gap, the gulf between the 1% who serve and the rest of us in civilian life who enjoy our freedom, thank you very much. Right. And people using the military as kind of a shield, a distance maker, whether it's you can't kneel because you're disrespecting the troops, or whether it was a general using military as a little bit of a wedge in that event.
Yeah, we've become, in many ways, the ultimate political shield or the ultimate political sword. It depends on the issue, it depends on the side, but that divide that exists between the military and the American people is unprecedented. We're less than 1/2%. So most Americans don't really know us. That's part of why we did the surveys, to help understand what's really going on behind it. But consistently we've been used, going back to the Khan family, then we saw the national anthem, this Gold Star family debacle. A lot of people are speaking on our behalf, and there's no monolithic group. They're extremely diverse, especially the younger generation, and they can speak for themselves. And they're doing that. More and more of them are running for office, they're writers, they're contributors, and we really want to help shape that dialogue. But I think we've all got to be on guard, because a lot of folks are still overseas, they're in harm's way, they can't speak for themselves, but they shouldn't be manipulated and used as a shield on issues like the national anthem, frankly, which isn't even a veterans issue.
Right.
We don't own the American flag, we don't have a monopoly on patriotism, it belongs to everyone. So I think we've all got to be really vigilant about that.
Getting into your survey, the first group of numbers, if all Americans had the voter registration number that your veterans have, right, if all Americans showed up at the polls in the numbers your veterans do, if all Americans considered running for office, look at that, 41%, the bottom, 41% have considered running for public office. I think we'd be better off. But that voter registration number is sky high.
Yeah, and we see this as a really untold story. You know, we believe that our generation of veterans can be America's next great generation. They run into the fray, they take on challenges, they want to lead even in places like Washington. I think over 100 post-9/11 veterans are going to run for Congress from both sides of the aisle. They're extremely engaged, they're giving back. This is a silver lining of over a decade and a half of wars. They're resilient, they're self-selected as leaders, they want to contribute, and they want to continue to contribute going forward. That's a tremendous opportunity for America.
And now the bad news. This next set of numbers, very tough to read, that 2/3 of our returning vets from these two wars know a veteran who has attempted suicide.
Yeah. I mean, there's a massive suicide problem. It's taking the lives of our brothers and sisters every single day. The numbers, I think, have been well reported. Estimates are maybe 20 veterans of all generations are lost every day. And it's a public health challenge. It's a national security issue. It's a moral imperative. It's something we need the White House to focus on and all of Americans to focus on every single day, from veterans who are going through rough transitions. They need support, they need community, but this is a very, very urgent issue that our members talk about more than anything else, and they want to see more action on. We can save lives.
I want to have you back to talk about a new movie called Thank You for Your Service, which folks should see, but be ready as well. It's tough, because I think I want to get your voice in that conversation.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate the conversation.
What a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Paul Rieckhoff, our guest from IAVA.